Welcome to another YouTube live with LFC Ahmedabad with the really kind folks at LFC Ahmedabad. We have got our usual suspect here, Vatsal Bhai, and we have also got Dhawal Bhai here, who also takes out time for us every now and then. So, guys, unlike my Gujarati, Liverpool's form has been really good this season. So, वत्सल भाई सबसे पहले बट मैं मैच की बात नहीं करूंगा. सबसे पहले मैं आपसे पूछूंगा हेंडरसन के बारे में आपकी क्या थॉट्स है.
Yeah, yes, the thing is, even like when he was at Liverpool, and when we were beginning that Klopp era, he was kind of my favorite player, because he and James Miller, because I for me personally, I like players who are not world superstars but who give their all on the field. मतलब उनकी जितनी भी एबिलिटी है वो सारा निकाल के आएंगे वो बाहर. और that's why I liked Henderson.
Right.
But that interview has left a really sour taste in my mouth now. And I'm like, see, I'm lost for words now. But the thing is, this side of Henderson we have never seen, and we never expected it to see as well. So that's why I like the respect which I had for the guy has slightly deteriorated. But then on the other hand, he was part of one of our modern day great times. So we shall cut him some slack, but then again it's his responsibility towards the club as well, regardless he's there or he's there or not. If you compare it to someone like Xabi Alonso, who has had more success in for Real Madrid and Bayern Munich compared to Liverpool, but if you still ask him what's his favorite club, he's going to say Liverpool, because he still has such strong ties with the club. Now, if a player like Xabi Alonso's caliber is staying so grounded and still wishing our club all the very best and not saying anything bad about the us in the media, don't get me. And if you guys remember, Xabi Alonso was almost on his way out when Rafa Benitez all of a sudden wanted
Right.
Gareth Bale in like 2008 or somewhere, like almost a long time back now. But then
Right.
again, he that move collapsed. The Gareth Barry move collapsed. He had to return back to Liverpool, Xabi Alonso, but still professional 100, and was never seen publicly criticizing the club. You never know what happened behind the back. You never know, he might have said something, but at least that didn't leak out in the public as well. But giving such an interview and saying things which he probably shouldn't have, well, things could have been avoided basically.
Fair enough. Dhawal bhai, I'll come to you here. Do you think that not as scandalous, but an interview that Jordan Henderson has given just a month, I would say, after leaving Liverpool, is a bit reminiscent of the Cristiano Ronaldo interview around the World Cup last year?
I wouldn't go at least to that
Yeah,
like
me
that
too.
far. I think Ronaldo is kind of a player like whose character is like I don't know. For some people, think he's questionable. Some people really love him. But Henderson, I think, uske baare mein people usually had like nicer feelings. And I think if you
Right.
notice, ever since the move was announced to Saudi Arabia, there has been a certain narrative within English media, especially like Liverpool journalists, that he sold out
Yeah,
and he has just gone for money and all that. That because English clubs made a big deal about like the LGBTQ rights and all that, supporting the cause and all. Now he's going to a country where it's explicitly legal. So also a little political stuff involved, which I don't think all of us are more aware of. But I think from surface we can see that there is more than that. Like it's not just dislike that he moved
I
to Saudi Arabia. It's more like a kind of a betrayal for a lot of people that he betrayed
the
our
thing
cause.
is,
Yeah.
that I'm least concerned about LGBTQ. Whatever people have, they can have their thoughts. People are different. No, that's not an issue. The thing that really hurt me is that he said that no one at the club, Liverpool, were like, even one of them
Yeah,
didn't ask that.
I'm coming to that point. Just a
Oh,
minute.
okay, fair.
So
Yeah, yeah. You can go ahead,
yeah,
dude. Yeah.
so I think that there was certain narrative. So I think the reason he gave that interview was he probably wanted to clear the air. Now there was no, I don't think there was any way where Henderson could have kind of redeemed himself in any way.
Exactly.
But I think he tried his best, and there is really no way he can explain himself to the English media in terms of the questioning line of questioning that is happening. So I think if you just look at purely from his financial perspective, I think he made a right move for himself, because in England he really had no chances of getting as much money, because he, first of all, he was a limited player, and I think I personally also had, like, a lot of problems when Klopp decided to give him a big contract, like, that highly paid contract. I actually did not
2021 so
like it.
really.
Yeah, so no one was going to give in that. So I think there are multiple factors involved, but I think it was just a losing cause for him to do that interview. He might as well have, just released a short statement and avoid all this like controversy, because I don't think he's a, like, some really bad character person, but it's just the
Yeah.
things were just stacked against him. There was no way out for him.
The thing is,
Interesting thing you
Anukarsh.
say here. Vatsal, I actually have a follow-up question from you. That's the
Oh,
reason I
okay,
am
yeah, yeah.
interrupting you here.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
So, because very relevant point Dhawal bhai raised that, in the media also there were like people had a lot of problems with Henderson moving. Now, I have one question that like when Fabinho left, or when there was a ruckus in the media that maybe Thiago or more recently Salah could leave the club. Although even Salah has been like a very big figure, I think the best forward of our generation when it comes to Liverpool. These in the if I am going by recency bias at least,
Yes, yes, of
so
course.
I would say, like, don't you think that the fans maybe were so hard on him? Because I understand that the interview, him coming out, is not really correct. But do you think that they usually English players enjoy that favoritism when it comes to football? There, do you think that this time there was a certain more of a villain? Like they were trying to make villainize him, the media was, because a lot of other players have also got the big money moves. But did you feel there was a certain side of making him the villain there?
You mean Henderson, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not about making him a villain or not making him a villain. We the thing is, we all know he went for the money there. But then
Hmm.
to come out in that interview and say that move was not made for the money, then he plays down the LGBTQ stuff. That's the reason why the interview has not gone down well with the fans. Like, if I feel like Henderson is one of the most down to earth person Liverpool in the Liverpool squad when he was the captain. Like, despite his relatively lesser of a playing ability, no disrespect, but let's be honest, he wasn't one of our best midfielders. He was still a great captain, led by an example and stuff. I think if he had come out and been absolute honest that yes, my time at Liverpool was coming to an end, I wanted this big paycheck, no one would have said a word. Like, no one would have called him a mercenary. If you get my point. Like, let's say
Right,
someone
right.
like in 2015, 2016, Chelsea's Oscar moved uh, to
To
China for
China.
just when he was like 24, 25 years old. That was a mercenary move. That was a money motive move.
Or
Now
like a
Henderson,
Gabriel Viega sort of a move more recently, when he has shifted from when he was about to get his move to Napoli and move to Saudi. He is a 21-year-old attacking midfielder.
Yeah,
yes, yeah. See, these are the people who are going for the cash. But then, when you are 33, you have won everything in club football. You have captained one of the biggest club sides in the world. You are more than welcome to take all the cash you want. But then again, be honest about it. that's
Right.
that's the only
yeah,
reason why I feel like the interview has not gone down well, and he's been villainized. Now, the thing is, he's not that big of a high profile player, right? So the interview is going to stick in people's mind for at least a couple of months, and everyone are going to forget it. And someone like me will once again see Henderson as one of our modern day greats, to be honest, because it will be a lie to say he's not one of our greats just because of a certain words which we didn't like he said.
Right.
It doesn't make him any less of a player. If you
Makes
get
sense.
it,
Makes
the
sense.
thing is,
I get it.
this sourness in my mind is just going to stay
It
in
was
for.
unrecruited, right? It was very unrecruited. I get your point.
Yeah.
On
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
more positive side of things here, Dhawal bhai. So Liverpool got their third win of the Premier League season, and like I remember when we guys started these YouTube lives, Liverpool were not able to win for the first few matches. There were, so it's great to see all this, and like I think Darwin Nunez played very well. Mohamed Salah took his goal well also, and it was good to see him scoring, especially with all the Saudi rumors coming around, going
Yeah.
around. And of course, like we saw Dominic Szoboszlai, what a player. Some call him a Gerard Vigen. I think he is just one of his kind. Honestly, one hell of a player. So, what are your thoughts and insights about the match? Rahul?
I think it was like a textbook win. I think something we used to get when we all our players were like firing, on all cylinders. So I'm actually very glad that Darwin Nunez has returned to form because he's a very lethal striker. I mean, he misses like just like Salah, like he can miss like some sitters like which average players could easily score, but I think they make it hard for themselves and. Overall, I think the biggest improvement we needed was midfield, and I'm glad that we have been able to. Uh, some people might say we still need another player, maybe like Thiago might have been replaced, but I think what we have now, based on what we could spend and like availability, I think we are sorted. Because first we are never going to get as much reinforcements as City or like Chelsea or Arsenal. So I think
Yeah,
that's something we might just have to accept that there is a little limitation. At least we now have a little depth. So like Gravenberg is I think a good addition. I've not
mm,
seen him play, but I've just only read what other people have written. So that's, I think, a good investment there. Uh, Curtis Jones also playing well. I think that was one of the good positives of the game that he like slotted right in there.
Yeah.
So overall, it is boding well for us. We have a fit lineup like across. I think defense is a concern, but I think they again Klopp has decided to take a risk there, unwise in my opinion. But I think we should be able to at least get into like I've had like top four my prediction, but I think I've revised it to like top two now. But winning the league, I think, is still. Uh,
A long way.
I don't think we can say
a
anything
bit of
until
a
like
chance.
30 matches have been played at least because given the form City is in, but I think we should be able to hold good performances against like the average teams. I think that's our biggest weakness, and it's looking good now.
Yeah.
Makes
Szoboszlai
sense.
especially, you gave him a shout.
Yeah.
I think he's going to make a massive difference.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Talking about someone who is making a massive difference, I don't want to jinx it, but Vatsal bhai, I think Joe Gomez has looked very good in the two
Yeah.
matches he has been in. And what are your thoughts on him? And do you think having him as a solid centre half once again is like a very, very positive and a good step for Liverpool? A sigh of
I
relief, maybe.
I always believed in Joe Gomez, even if he didn't have
After
a.
the Real Madrid match,
Yeah, see, anyone can have a off match here and there. Anyone can have a rough patch of form as well. Doesn't mean that he is not any good. Like because just because he's young and in the title winning season, he and Van Dijk were just absolutely brilliant.
impeccable. Yeah.
And we have seen more of his positives than negatives. Like me personally, you can name 10 matches where he has played badly, while I can name just 5 of them. But then that's perspective, right? But it's really good to see someone like Joe Gomez back, because I think he is aware that he's not our first choice or a second choice center back anymore. But
Mhm.
that doesn't make him any less important, because injuries and fitness issues are going to pile up as we go along into this season. He There are going to be matches where he has to cover for right back slot as well. Now
Right.
him as right back is something still I'm not convinced, even though I like Joe Gomez. But seeing him as a center back against like a really good Aston Villa attack, the likes of Ollie Watkins, was he there? Ollie Watkins, I guess, and who was the
Yeah,
Yeah,
other?
yeah,
Uh,
Diaby.
Diaby, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, Leverkusen, and don't get me wrong, like they have a really good forward line and being there. And another good point and another credit to Joe Gomez is there was no Virgil van Dijk next to him. Like when he's next to Van Dijk, you see a different Joe Gomez. But it was Joel Matip this time. But still, he didn't look out of his place. And credit where credit is due, to be honest.
Yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. Dhawal bhai, I'll come to you here. So first of all, a huge shout out to Vinod bhai here. We are glad to see you also joining in this stream. And of course, like it's people like you who keep us going. So
Yeah.
Dhawal bhai, like of course, one midfielder I would like to point out for Liverpool is McAllister. Like we all know Alexis McAllister. Like because of Dominic Szoboszlai life, we haven't been talking about him as much. But I think he has been a terrific addition. Maybe
Yes.
maybe at the number 8 position or the number 6, he has slotted in pretty well. So going into this season, how much of an impact do you think he will make? And do you think that after Dominic Szoboszlai, he has been the he could be like the best signing in the Premier League overall, considering the price we got him for, and the attributes he brings along with him.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the spine for our midfield for the next like 2, 3 seasons at least.
Mhm.
Like Thiago is someone who's not going to play regularly. I think his injury problems are pretty much obvious.
Yes.
So I think, and he also knows that. So um, maybe the Curtis Jones, like Elliot or Thiago, they might rotate in, but I think
Right.
McAllister and Szoboszlai are going to be the main midfielders for us. Also, they are quite young. This is something we missed across last few seasons. Our midfield just would not run. Like we lost. If you see all the stats that are running, all that sprints and all, it just dried up
And
because
distance
we had
covered and
like
stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So that was an issue, and I think McAllister, like even if let's say, for example, someone says, "Oh, yeah, I don't like him," and for whatever XYZ reason, for this skill is lacking compared to like Szoboszlai or someone, a city midfielder. But still, he's a younger World Cup winner,
Yeah.
a guy who plays in an Argentine team. That's quite good. So I think you cannot discount all that experience also. And overall, yeah, a young midfielder, and given him and Szoboszlai have just slotted in, I think he is going to be like one of our key players. Like if we win a trophy or two, you have to, I think, put at least McAllister in that our top team, like or even a season team along with Szoboszlai. I think that it's going to be really good. I think I'm feeling a lot of positives this season, especially from these two signings. And yeah, a lot. We haven't seen like that breakout performance from him, a goal or something, but I think on the background he's doing quite well. And a really good addition. I commend whoever decided to sign him.
Interesting. Like before we move into, like I really agree with you here, Dhawal bhai, because I think he has been a terrific signing. And like before we move towards the end of this YouTube live in which I talk about the Liverpool versus Wolves game, I would like to kind of go away from the Premier League here and talk to you, Vatsal bhai, here about Ben Doak being included in the Europa League squad instead of Adrian. So, how excited are you to see him play at right wing? And do you think it could be like the start of his career, considering Salah might leave next season?
See, the thing is, he's what, 17?
Yeah, 17, 18, a teenager.
Yeah. See, I feel like even if Salah leaves next season, I don't think he'll see an 18-year-old straight away burst into the field because it's a really important position, the right wing. But then again, having him in the squad is a clear indication that Klopp is willing to try out the youth in the Europa League group stage, because let's be honest, the group isn't something which we should be worried. Like Toulouse, the Union side from Belgium, I can't even pronounce
It's
their
not
name.
challenging.
Yeah, and what was the fourth team? Toulouse,
Honestly, I haven't seen the
To lose
Union.
the lead on a side, and of course, then there's this team. Last is a team.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
from Austria,
uh,
LASK. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so basically a group which shouldn't cause a problem or two here and there, and it's good to see
Ideally, the whole
Like,
Europa League should be much of a problem.
yeah, well, but at least Europa League, when we have had such a good start to the season, we don't want Europa League to be a hindrance, because it's always difficult to play Thursday, Sunday. So I'm glad that Ben Doak is in there, because I'm sure he's going to get a lot more game time. Same goes to probably Kelleher as well, because now Adrian has been left out of the squad. I expect Kelleher to play all 6 group matches at least. And and depending on what team we get in the knockout stages, assuming we qualify, but I think we will. And I think he is going to take care of our Europa League season. And I feel like that's the reason why. I know you asked about Ben Doak, and I'm talking about Kelleher here, but I think the Europa League is the reason why he has not forced a move out of Anfield this summer, because we all were hearing rumors during the early stages of the transfer window that he wants regular first team football,
Yeah,
and there were Premier League clubs interested in him, like not big clubs, but at least the lower half of the Premier League teams interested in signing him. But I think the only reason I think that he has stayed for at least one more season is because of the Europa League, and I think he's going to play a lot more matches over there. But someone like Ben Doak, yes, I think preseason and few games towards the latter stages of last season has proved that he is very much capable of playing at the top level. We all considered 2 years ago, we all considered Alfonso Davies to be the best left wing back in the world. He's still living in Ben Doak's pockets after that. After that friendly game which we played in the I think in Singapore or somewhere
yeah,
in Asia, maybe.
that's an interesting point here.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
actually, yeah, please carry on. Yeah.
Yeah, so exactly, and I feel like there's a reason why he's not on loan as well. I think Klopp wants him to develop within the Anfield roots, like, and play according to the style which the first team has been playing, because our youth system, I think 90% of the gameplay is surrounded on how the top first team play, and want to cultivate someone of his caliber into our first team setup as well. So I'm not surprised that he is in the Europa League squad, and I expect him to play a handful of games as well.
Interesting. I agree and resonate with you here. Funny you mentioned Kelleher because there were rumors about him, about Wolves being out after him. And funnily enough, some of the people on Twitter had, started presenting graphics in which actual wolves, like the animals, were running after Kelleher. So yeah, like social media does get funny that way. But yeah, talking about Wolves here, Dhaval bhai, your quick predictions for the match against Wolves after the international break.
I think we should win. I will probably score 3-4 goals. I'm not saying Wolves as any challenge this season, but then again, a caveat: this is Liverpool, so anything can happen. So I'm 99% will smash Wolves. Like we'll chase these Wolves back, but on the odd case, the Wolf might just snare the Liverpool.
Absolutely. So this time we don't even have anyone to hoof it up when it comes to Henderson to the Wolves.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so Vatsal bhai, I'll come to you here with the final question. Do you expect Klopp to play Gravenberch, Alexis, and Dominic in this match?
See,
And what are your final results for this? Like your predictions for this match?
so talking about the Wolves game, I will answer. Was it Vinod Sharma, right? If I
Yeah.
read the name correctly, to answer his question, it's really difficult to see all three of them starting, to be honest, because like out and out, no one is a defensive midfielder who can play in that number 6 role. For
Hmm.
that, you will need someone like
Percentage.
Diallo or Bicetic or Endo or someone
Uh,
like that to play. If we happen to see all three of them play together, I think that would mean that Klopp has tweaked his formation and we are going with a 4-2-3-1. That's the
Can
only reason.
expect in cups, not in
Yeah,
Premier League, because he hasn't played for Bayern also a
exactly.
lot. So I
Exactly.
think they're going to take a little slowly because, like the way
Yeah,
McAllister and Szoboszlai slotted in, I think Gravenberch
I
is going
think
to be a little difficult to see for
break into
us
the
in
system.
Premier
Yeah.
League. So
I think
expecting cup.
Gravenberch is more of a kind, like, remember when Fabinho and Robertson first joined, they were like slowly integrated into the
Yeah,
first.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
though
absolutely.
Alberto Moreno was not having the best of the times, he was still there as our starting left back in the early stages of that 17-18 season. And then we saw someone like Andy Robertson pick up, because let's be honest, he's coming at
No,
just what, 21 years of age. That's
Yeah,
relatively young if you like ask me, and he's got so much time. I think he's like water in whatever kind of shaped glass
content.
Klopp wants to mold him. He's going to do that, and if Klopp sees something in him which he's like points out and says, "Oh, that's something which a defensive midfielder might be good at," and
I
something
think
Raven is
in
capable of.
short, you can expect him to play like Europa and Cup games. The
Yeah,
Premier League, I think, will stick with whatever we have right now because I think
exactly.
for
I think
that is going
yeah.
to be more important for us comparatively. So whatever is working there, it's not going to be changed.
Yeah, and before I answer about the Wolves game, just one more point to add to what Vinod Sharma was asking. I think there's more possibility of an Endo, a McAllister, and Shaboshlai midfield three than a Gravenberch, McAllister, and
Fair enough.
Shaboshlai midfield
So,
three. Yeah, coming to the Wolves game now. Should be a good game, and should be a relatively easy game, because Wolves have had one of the worst transfer windows I've seen
starts.
in recent times. They have barely signed anyone. They've lost so many good players. Ruben Neves is gone. Jao Moutinho is gone. Raul Jimenez gone, and they have barely replaced them. And I think they are one of the sides who should be in a relegation battle come end of the season. So
I think
I'm
they probably will be relegated.
Yeah, possibly. So I'm expecting a win. Another fun thing and a fun fact to add about that Wolves and Liverpool game is that it's on the 16th of September, which happens to be my birthday. So
Oh,
let's hope that Liverpool can give us 3 points as a gift. So that's
absolutely, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we are
Thank you
not
guys
going
for
to
that.
give you any gift.
yeah. I don't expect either, so that's fine.
Yeah, we'll try to put out a story for you from the Indie Football podcast
Yeah,
page. Thank you, Vatsal bhai. Thank you, Dhaval bhai, for joining in. It's always a pleasure having you guys. And
Yeah,
guys, please subscribe to the Indie Football podcast and LFC Ahmedabad. Please
yes,
follow our social media channels and on YouTube, Instagram. LFC Ahmedabad themselves are doing a great job. And it's always great to have you guys there. So thank you guys. Please keep on coming in and let's keep on celebrating these
sure.
Liverpool wins over and over again. Thank you.
yeah.
Thanks for
Sure.
inviting.
Thanks.
Pleasure.